What's going on, YouTube? This is your Melanated Warrior, Haywood Heinous, and this is another installment of Facts Over Feelings. Leave your feelings at the door so we can get to the facts, and we are right back at it. Grand Rising, all you melanated gods and goddesses. I hope that you're doing well, sending all of that good energy and good vibes to you guys. I couldn't sleep. I literally haven't been asleep. I was just receiving these downloads, came across this information, and of course I was just like, I gotta get it out to my warriors. I gotta let them know exactly what's going on, because like we said before, we're not gonna be making poor decisions, because we're gonna have all the information available to us. We're gonna critically analyze this information, and then we're gonna draw conclusions that's going to help us to progress in a way in which we'll be closer to higher levels of awareness than to be estranged from it. Right, that is the objective, because it's a lot at stake, and we just can't be running around like a chicken with our head cut off and not knowing what's going on. We can't be like these Blancos. We just can't allow it. We're not gonna allow them to confuse us and act like some are with us, some not. No, as long as you think like them, as long as they control the thinking, then that's dangerous. It doesn't matter if you're far removed from, a physical place or an institution. If you have been institutionalized, then that's just or is equally as dangerous. So we have to get away from that. And what do we do on this platform? We pride ourselves on reading comprehension, because we state that if you cannot understand what you have read, then you cannot read. And oftentimes we can go so far as to say that that's not even warranted, because they know that most people not even reading to begin with. And isn't it amazing how the people who want to control the narrative or control your thought process don't even like to read? I hear some people, I don't like to read. So how do you have an opinion on anything if you're not well versed in what it is that you feel like you have an opinion about? That's ridiculous. Now, see, just recap a little bit on the last segment before we get off into the meat, because this is going to be a great segment. Trust me, this should go viral. If you do anything, get this out to as many people as possible. Of course, we're going to have to watch our language, and that's one of the reasons why, I first want to start off by saying, look, by the end of this month, we should have the website done. It'll be for us. It's going to be the FOF squad. It won't be called that, but I just don't want to put it out there yet, because it's going to be a surprise, but I'm going to let you know. So when this channel is down, it probably won't be by ScrewTube, even though ScrewTube is messing with me. Like, when you reach certain plateaus or certain milestones, like you get a certain amount of subs and stuff, they send you messages congratulating you. YouTube has never done that for me, because they like, oh, here this nigga go again. So they don't want to encourage me. That's what they don't want to do. And so we know that anytime you drop a video and you got 20 likes and 1 view, or the sound isn't available for 4 or 5 minutes, and they're taking views away, we know exactly what they're doing. And I haven't asked for this channel to be monetized, because I don't want to encourage them to put forth more measures to discourage you guys and discourage me from building this platform and getting it to the level in which we know it has the potential to reach. So that's why we're going to create our own website, and by the end of the month, this YouTube channel won't be in existence anymore. So I'm gonna put my email in the description for those who don't have it, and just make sure you keep up with me. I'll do my best to stay in contact with you guys, but that's what's going on, because we ain't got to take this shit. I'm not gonna be building 3-4 YouTube channels. Fuck all that shit. They can kiss my ass with all of that. We don't need them. And hopefully you guys support, because we know that we can build our own shit. Let's do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what should be, everything should be done. The logo, the website, everything by the end of this month. So let's recap a little bit what we were talking about before we get into the meat of this discussion. We were talking about how we have to understand the energy that is pervasive, that bleeds into every area of life activity, like Dr. Frances Wilson and Dr. Neely Fuller talked about, has been in existence for a long time. These false gods that we've been worshiping by participating in their rituals have gotten stronger. We have to understand there's nothing new under the sun. We talked about how the first murder occurred between 2 brothers. We talked about how the highest form of sacrifice or show or display of loyalty is to give someone close to you, particularly someone in your family or your social group. Okay, we said that's what God wanted from Abraham, to show his loyalty, to give up his firstborn. Okay, and then even when it came to God, when God wanted to save you, all right, to give you a chance at whether people think everlasting life or a shot at heaven or whatever, who did he give as a sacrifice? He gave his son. just to show you that that's what the gods do. Even the gods have shown you, whether it's the Most High or the gods that, the Most High told you not to worship, like Baal or Molech in the book of Leviticus or the law, that they wanted to, they wanted your sacrifice to be one who was close to you or in your social group, to show loyalty to them. So this has been the energy of these gods. Check. Always remember that. So it's nothing new. It's not going from bad to worse. It's just the energy is increasing. And what has always been prevalent, because remember, when you're living your life and everything is going good, doesn't mean that that's the way that it is halfway across the world. We know our brothers and sisters over in Africa have been going through this for a very long time, and now that we begin to see a lot of these things take place, we're being affected. Now all of a sudden, things have been going from bad to worse, and I don't even know how we've been thinking that, considering the fact that our neighborhoods have always suffered from that complex. But I digress. The point being is that what we're going to go into as we recapped off of that, and because I'm about to go off into analyzing their science, I'm not going to sit up there and say one of my most popular catchphrases, but I will say half of it just to let you know where I stand. And for those who are new to the channel and you don't get what I'm about to say because I'm only saying half the phrase, just somebody will put it in the comment section and keep you abreast of how we get down here, because we know there is no such thing, and you can finish the rest. So I don't believe nothing that come out of these Blancos' mouths, or the Blanco house, or the White House, as you call it. And then you have to understand that the devil is not in hell. The devil is in these so-called European institutions and governments. Remember in the Bible, the devil offered Jesus what? All the kingdoms of the world. So if all the kingdoms in the world are telling you to do something, and then the Bible had already told you that the devil run all the kingdoms in the world, who's telling the truth and who's lying? I'm going to let you figure that out. But what we're going to do is we're going to get off into some international news, then get off into some regional news, and let you know exactly what's going down here in Michigan. A lot of things have been taking place. And I'm going to say this all throughout this video too. Why in the hell is everybody fearing a zombie apocalypse when Americans ain't got no brains to begin with? So if it is going to take place, you won't have to worry about zombies here in America, because they won't have nothing to feed on. Ain't nobody got no brains in this bitch, it seems like. Nobody is empowering that, or using or putting into play their analytical skills, right? Because they always want to say, oh, these brothers are coming up, and then they're capitalizing off the fact that they got these huge memory banks, and the only thing that they're doing is regurgitating information. No, you don't hear, hey, Ruth Haynes parrot nothing. We have analytical skills of the highest order, and that's when we pride ourselves here, here on this platform, is reading comprehension. Okay, so we're going to start off with an article that was published not too long ago, December 5th. Well, obviously, yesterday, December 5th, 2021, by Michelle Mark. Okay, and it says, and now what I want to do before we read this article, and I'm also going to play a video later, but I don't want to suffer any copyright strikes, so we're just going to play the audio, but we want you to pay attention to the dates. Okay, pay attention to the dates and what this Blanco was talking about, because I'm so tired of Blancos always trying to make everyone culpable or responsible for their actions. Oh, well, yeah, it's man is destroying the earth. No, it's you. Because see, when we get into an argument and black people talk about, where we are, in the power structure, you always make it vividly aware of the fact that, oh, well, you're at the bottom. Or, that's why it says fight for equality. They let you know, okay, if you're not equal, that's a fight for power. Okay, that's saying that someone has more power than you, and they've already told you that your communities have no power, right? Because that's what you buy into, even though we know we spend a lot of money. So it's not about access to wealth. We have it. We're just not spending the money right. We're not investing. We're not saving, etc. So we're just becoming consumers and not producers, but we've already went over that. So the point is that they're responsible. I don't care how they articulate other people who are not ideologically aligned with them. Oh, the Democrats, the liberals, and all. No, it's you. It's you and your devil-ass government. That's the problem. Like I tell people all the time, don't bring no black scientists to me when their mind is Oreo-like, black on the outside, Blanco in the middle. You might as well bring a Blanco scientist to me. Makes no difference. So we're going to read this, and it's entitled, A Man Who Tested Positive, and we're going to call this the Omarion, because that's what people have been calling it. I kind of like that. Says 15 of his friends who joined him at New York Anime Convention also have the beer virus. Okay? So let's read. A Minnesota man who attended an anime convention in New York last month and later tested positive for the Omarion has reportedly told health officials that 15 of his friends have also contracted the beer virus. Now, check. Let's stop for a second. Did they get tested, or that was just something that he assumed? We don't know. Because like I said, they love to leave areas of gray. And we're going to go off into why they like to do that. We know because, confusion helps to accelerate chaos, okay, and create a chaotic environment, all right? Because that's what they've had, us in since the start of this bullshit, okay? It's unclear, okay. Point taken, point proven, if any of those individuals also caught the Omarion. Health officials told media outlets. The man was one of the first reported cases of the Omarion variant. The man was one of the first reported cases of the Omarion variant in the United States. So commit that to memory. Prompting questions of whether the variant spread throughout the convention, which tens of thousands of people attended. Now, mind you, he's with friends who are from all over the country. So they already set they already laid the groundwork. He's with people from all over the country, 15 others. We don't know if they got the Omarion, but then we just heard recent news reports of what? It's already spread to 15 other states. So they laid it, they're showing you, oh my goodness. You got to, we already know, those who know, the obvious need not be stated. So let's continue to keep reading. It's hard, they say, it's hard to say if it's a super spreader. Certainly we're concerned about that. Kathy Como-Sabetti, manager of the COVID-19 epidemiology, I didn't want to say that. A section for the Minnesota Department of Public Health told the New York Times. Officials in New York and Minnesota with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are investigating the variant's possible spread and tracing the man's contacts, according to the Washington Post. Now, it said the man had attended the late November convention as part of a group of 30 people from across the United States, half of whom are now sick, he told health officials. So this is, they're sick. Now, mind you, at the latter end of November, this article was published December 5th. So he got this feedback from them almost in days. This is what we have to suspect because this article came out on December 5th. This is amazing. I mean, this is just, they running with it, are they not? Okay. It says, it's unclear whether the man contracted the Omarion, and he may not have even picked it up at the convention at all. Organizers said all event attendees were required to wear a mask and have at least one dose of a beer virus vax. Okay? Now, this is what's important. Commit this to memory. The Times also reported Saturday that the man had been fully jabbed and received a booster weeks before attending the convention. His symptoms were mild and he has turned over the names and contact information of some of his friends to health officials, according to the Times. Now, see, you see the reason and the source of all the confusion, because and then they'll say they had this excuse, because always they leave a shade of gray. Oh, that's just the nature of the science. These variants pop up, and then, so we find out that the jabs that we've been giving people are not as effective as they could be to these new variants, and then, of course, so we got to come up with some new ones at warp speed, and just so happens that we have them available. I don't know if you guys know or not. The fuck out of here. Ain't no such thing. Oh my goodness, man. But see, like we said before, when you allow their science to pervade in here, the first one to the mind is the winner. They will keep winning. They will keep winning. Now that's something. Fully jabbed, booster shot, everything. And still caught this other variant, which they say was mild. So it shouldn't matter. It should be effective. Now, mind you, back in the beginning, they were saying, oh, this will help against other variants. That's what they told you. Now it's not helping. And they wonder why people are so confused. They wonder why certain people are on the fence. They wonder why certain people have reservations. And they act like, where are you getting the confusion from? It can't be from me. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Do this. It works. It doesn't work. Man, stop playing. Stop playing. So what we're going to do is, like we said, we're going to contrast that article with this other article, and it's going to talk about where the origins, of this variant came from, which we already know was in South Africa. This is from CNN. A lot of people say this is fake news, but of course there's no such thing as Blanco science. So in my opinion, I don't understand why, it's like redundant when you say fake, because anyways, let me go on. How South African scientists discovered Omarion and set off a global chain reaction. So, In the early days of November, laboratory technicians at Lancet Laboratories in Pretoria, South Africa, found unusual features in samples they were testing for the beer virus. Essentially, a gene was missing in what would be a normal genome profile of the virus. PCR tests weren't detecting one of their expected targets, a signal that something about the beer virus had changed. Just a few days later, the same phenomenon was reported at Lancet's molecular pathology department in Johannesburg. And we're going to go down. Dr. Alison Glass, a pathologist with Lancet, said the discovery coincided with an increase in positive cases of beer virus in parts of South Africa. In the province of Gauteng, which includes Johannesburg, fewer than 1% of people were testing positive at the start of November, but this rose to 6% within a fortnight and to 16% by Wednesday. The discovery, now I'm quoting her, raised concerns that we were in for another surge, Glass told CNN. Our first thought was, there goes our quiet December and a Christmas break. So they already let you know, December about to be rowdy. It's about to be loud. It ain't about to be quiet no more. All right, already getting you prepped, laying the groundwork. All right. 3 weeks later, what the South African scientists have stumbled across will be known worldwide as the Omicron variant of the beer virus. So 3 weeks later, remember the beginning of the virus, so 3 weeks later puts you at the latter end of November. Now, let's go back to the other article. Remember, he went to this anime convention in New York at the latter end of November. So then they say, oh, we don't know how he got it. We don't know how the fuck he got it either. Please tell us. Because you didn't substantiate it until later on. And then Biden, as we will see in another article, didn't put a ban on traveling from these to and fro from countries in Africa, until November 29th. Now check what the article says. Oh my God, this shit too easy because all Blancos do is fucking lie. That's all the fuck they do. Biden's latest travel ban is probably a waste of time. Not only a waste of time, boy, let me stop. It says, now this is the most important part of this article that I'm going to read. The U.S. first confirmed Omicron case came just 3 days after the ban was implemented. When did I say? 3 days. So the ban was on the 29th, which will put the first case on the 2nd of December. So if the first case was on the 2nd of December, how did the Minnesota man catch it on the last week of November? But see, you ain't got a lot of people doing this type of research. This shit come easy to me because we're of the Most High and we warriors. And we don't play no motherfucking games. I don't play with these Blancos because first of all, I already told you guys. See, we're not even criticizing the science. Let's say the science is real. How in the fuck you can't get your story straight? That's all I'm asking. How in the fuck can you not get your story straight? See, when you look at, remember how we even talked about the dates when it came to slavery? It didn't make sense. See, when you start to look at their dates, which they will give you, this is why they compartmentalize their history. This is why they're compartmentalizing this information coming about this so-called fiasco that we find ourselves in, this chaotic set of events. And they wonder why people are so confused. And like I said, why people are, have their reservations and their concerns. And I have a nerve to always be ridiculed by Blancos. Blancos can't never test my intelligence. They can't never call me out on that. So what they do is they leave these little punk ass emojis and all of this different stuff, and they ridicule and say, why don't you have why are you in my business? Why ain't you talking about the information I'm presenting? Why haven't you rebutted any of the information? Because you know I'm telling the truth and you know your people. I don't care how in the hell you articulate your people. When they're not ideologically aligned with you, the Democrats, the liberals, I don't care how you do it, your people are evil. That's what they are. So stop trying to say it's Democrats. No, it's your people. Because like I said before, I don't know why in the hell y'all afraid of zombies when these people got no brains. Now let's check. Let's just go back just a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning of all of this bullshit in 2020. Right? What is the first thing that they said? They said that, the people that it affect the most are older people. They're the ones most at risk. And what did these Blancos do? They gave you 2 old ass people to run for president. That's what they did. They gave you 2 old ass people to run for president. And then the Blancos were fighting over, we don't want Biden, we want Trump. Oh, Trump this, Trump that. He old as fuck. And he's an idiot. I ain't seen nothing intelligent. And then these Blancos, in order to bolster his image. Oh, Trump has time travel. They were saying all this ridiculous shit about this dummy. That man is a TV personality and he's a dummy. So you got one man who's a dummy and one man who forgets he's a dummy. Still don't make it. I mean, come on, make this make sense. You can't pick from the pool of intellectuals from Princeton, Harvard, all these elite colleges and institutions and Ivy Leagues and all that different stuff, and we can't get the best of your crop. We got to get these slow, lethargic, damn near 1 foot in the grave, one on a banana peel motherfuckers to run for office. I am killing you niggas. Because like I said, don't worry about the zombies when there's no brains in this country. Okay? Now, this is what's interesting. And I know you guys are going to enjoy this. Like I said before, we're going to play this video. I'm just going to play the audio because I don't want them to issue a copyright strike. I don't even know what they're going to do because, like I said before, they be trying to find ways. And I know that they be, you know, they're really on me, right? Because they know I ain't for no games. Because I am a splitting reflection of the Most High's energy. You cannot defeat the son of the sun. All right, so let's go to this video because in Michigan there's a lot of things going on. Before I say that, like, I don't know if you guys, and even you know, fan Obi called me and stuff like that. Shouts out to Ob, you know what I'm saying? We was talking about, he's like, what's going on in Michigan? Because, you know, they had a $230 or $250 million recall of marijuana here in Michigan. Now, what's interesting, you know, we from the hood, so I can give you the insight in the hood. They was flooding the hood with this weed, right? Niggas was coming from, the dispensary, they got zips for $90. A zip is an ounce, if you don't know the street language. So they had zips for $100, $90, giving it to niggas, right? Now, niggas should have already thought, okay, on average, the dispensary wanted $200, $250, $300, $350, depending upon the strains and the THC content for certain strains, right? Now, all of a sudden, they dropped their prices down and, you know, they giving you almost half off or more than half off, 50 to 60% off, and nothing struck a bell to you. No bell lit up or no light bulb went off. First thing I say, oh, no, I ain't smoking none of that shit. Niggas will come over, try to match or whatever. Like, no, we're not doing none of that shit. Plus, I had cut it off. And I usually do that for my fasting, especially when I do intermittent fasting. So, you know, it's just like, once I cut that off, I didn't worry about it anyways, because I wasn't participating in it. But, you know, my peoples, you know, you be around them, they all excited about it. And then lo and behold, first thing that happens is they said that, it was bacteria found in it. Well, this is bud. There's going to be some bacteria found in it, but usually it doesn't harm, humans, right? But it come to find out it was laced with fentanyl. Okay? Now, and this is what's so crazy about it. The organizational body responsible for analyzing the marijuana that comes out of these dispensaries are people who work with Michigan Police Forensic Team. I can't make this shit up. Now, you take the Flint water crisis. You take the water crisis that's going on in Benton Harbor. You think I would trust these blancos? And then yet people say no racism. Yet people say, just move on. Just do what you got to do. They are hunting us. They are trying to exterminate us. I wish I would listen to you blancos about take it easy. Oh, he making it too serious. I know too much. I know too much to walk backwards. I don't do no moonwalking. I left that to Michael Jackson. Now, this is the thing that we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this video. Like I said, I'm going to play the audio. Now, I want you to listen carefully. Because like I said, these blancos bank on your ignorance. They bank on you being ignorant. Oh, they love an ignorant nigga. They love an ignorant nigga. They love an ignorant nigga more than they love apple pie. You better believe that. So let's go.
Body's only healthy when your hormones are balanced, and that's why so many guys suffer from low T.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
Apparently, no one thought to ask high trauma regarding. Authorities had no idea where the parents were, and they were no-shows for their scheduled arraignment. Amber Cagliano reports.
Mystery surrounds the whereabouts of the parents of the accused school shooter after being charged with involuntary manslaughter. Sheriff Michael Bouchard revealed the stunning development on CNN, saying they are considered fugitives.
We sent detectives out and got a call from the lawyer for the couple saying they're not returning her calls or texts. So if they think they're going to get away, they're not.
So the Crumblies are...
First, pause. They said that the lawyer said that they wasn't returning the calls. That's what they said at first. But so remind yourself of that. That's what they said at first.
Now.
Correct.
Have you searched their house?
Oh, we have, a host of detectives out, including our partners with the FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service. If they think they're good on run, we're going to remedy that.
Police issued these photos of James and Jennifer Crumbly and an image of the Kia SUV they are apparently driving. But their lawyer said they left town for their own safety and are...
So now the lawyers know. But the lawyers said that they left town for the... So conflicting reports. Now... the lawyers never said, oh, well, yeah, at first we thought they ran or, I couldn't get in contact with them. No, the lawyers had always said that because that's the reports that we were getting up here in the state of Michigan, that the lawyers were firm on their position, stating that they had left for their own safety. They feared for their lives. But, whether or not, that's something I think, Blancos can do whatever they want to do. If it's white, it's all right. So, that's what they have been telling us from the start. They never said that they didn't know where they were or anything like that. But we'll let them continue because remember, confusion helps to accelerate and breed chaos. Always understand that.
Not fleeing law enforcement and were on their way back to Oxford, Michigan to face arraignment tonight. The couple allegedly fled following the announcement of the charges by prosecutor Karen McDonald, who revealed the gun used in the shooting was bought for 15-year-old Ethan Crumbly as an early Christmas gift.
Pause. Now especially black people, we like, they bought him a gun, he's 15 years old. Oh, we're going to see whether or not that's legal. Okay? Because you may be thinking with emotion like, what would you buy a 15-year-old a gun for? What would they do? Isn't that illegal? Let's continue.
One of Jennifer Crumbly's social media posts on about 11/27/21 read, quote, "Mom and Son Day testing out his new Christmas present," end quote.
She said the parents were called to the school after a teacher found a chilling note on Crumbly's desk. It showed a drawing of a gun with the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me. Blood everywhere. My life is useless. And the world."
The thoughts won't stop. Blood is everywhere. My life is useless. The world is dead. So they get called to the school when they find this letter. All right? Check.
Is dead.
The notion that a parent could read those words and also know that their son had access to a deadly weapon that they gave him is unconscionable, and I think it's criminal. It is criminal.
So notice what she said. She said, knowing that he had access to the weapon, she said, I think it's criminal. Then she backtracks and says, I know it's criminal, end quote. Why is that important? Let's continue to play the video.
The meeting at school, prosecutors say 15-year-old Ethan actually had his gun in his backpack. His parents were given 48 hours to get him counseling, and he was allowed to return to class.
So, he has the gun in his backpack, the prosecutors say. Now, they didn't confiscate the weapon. We know, everybody knows you cannot have a weapon on school grounds, but they allowed him to leave with the weapon and say, oh, well, we recommend that you give him 48 hours counseling. So they didn't wait 2 days. They let him come back to school the very same. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, if white privilege exists, this is such a thing. Or is the story sound weird to you? Why would they allow a child to come back to school? Now, let's let her finish. Let's let the reporter finish. And this really continues to keep getting weird.
Apparently, no one thought to ask him if he had his gun. Just hours later, he launched his shooting spree.
Of course.
So he came back with the gun. They didn't take it from him. So remember what the prosecutor said, the lead prosecutor. She said that it was criminal. So that means it was criminal on the part of of all those adults who allowed him to leave with the weapon and then come back with the weapon and not check. They were all the way like, oh, for the parents to have read this note and for them to not take action. They all read the note. The teacher read the note and they all knew that he had the gun in his backpack. So who's responsible? Boy, these Blancos. But is it irresponsible of the parents to buy a 15-year-old a gun? Is that illegal? Let's check and see what Michigan law says. Oh, man, I be killing you niggas. You know what I'm saying? These Blancos, like I said, this is why they don't like me, because they know they can't hold a candle to me. In Michigan, a person under the age of 18 generally may not possess a firearm in public except under the direct supervision of an adult 18 years of age or older. Persons under age 18 may possess a firearm while at or going to or from a recognized target range or a shooting ground if while going to or from the range or ground. The firearm is enclosed and securely fastened in a case or locked in the trunk of a motor vehicle. Persons under age 18 may also possess a firearm while hunting game, under the authority of a hunting license or land upon which a parent or guardian is regularly domiciled, or where a parent or guardian or another adult at least 18 years old authorized by a parent or guardian accompanies the minor. So at the age of 15, he's legally able to have this gun as long as he's accompanied by somebody 18 years or older. Did you know that? See, a lot of people just pay attention to the concealed weapon permit, which your issue, you can only have a concealed weapon permit at, 21 years or older, but that does not disallow you from having a firearm in the state of Michigan if you're under the age of 18, as long as you're accompanied by an adult. So check. So with black people and most of these so-called liberals, they be like, why did he have a gun? And who gives a gun to a 15-year-old? Is that legal? Oh, yes, because this loophole allows blancos to teach their kids how to shoot weapons at an early age. So by the time they're 21, they're proficient in firearm use and safety. Whereas with us, we have to wait till somebody tries to convince us, because like I said before, these brothers and sisters ain't ready. They talk about, like I said, they're buying firearms. Did you know in Michigan, you can also own a bulletproof vest if you have no felonies? So you got people buying firearms and have nothing to protect their bodies if they're gonna be the only ones shooting. That's why I told you before, we get too happy, don't we? Even at an Ahmaud Arbery trial, we was like, oh, well, yeah, they convicted the killers. Oh, they got 30 years. You think Babylon got 30 years? Do you really think Babylon got 30 years? You think because they locked them up, you ain't in prison yourself because they use different terms? They locked up, you locked down. What's the difference? The whole world is about to be a prison. You might just be in prison right next, or in an encampment right next to Ahmaud Arbery's murderers before it's all said and done. Like I said before, you ain't got to worry about a zombie apocalypse because ain't nobody here got no brains. FOF squad.